Despite still owing taxpayers nearly $25 billion, GM CEO Dan Akerson is complaining the bailout rules are not letting him earn enough. GM says Akerson's $7.7 million salary last year puts the company at a competitive disadvantage. Time to bring our panel out. Clint Greenleaf is the CEO of Greenleaf Book Group in Austin, Texas. Scott Martin is the CEO and president of Accent Asset Management in Chicago. And Elisabeth Meinecke is the deputy managing editor for Town Hall magazine. Welcome to you all. Scott, let's start with you. Not enough money.
Yeah, not enough taxpayer money, Jerry. You know, here's the funny thing about the guy's comment. Here's the thing, though. It's funny, Jerry, about the guy's comment. Where was the brain drain when they actually had all the money? I mean, before the government started regulating the salaries, the brains were drained. I mean, come on, guys.
Exactly. Elisabeth, what do you say?
I know. I mean, I have to admit there is a point when the government interferes in the marketplace, you get these artificial standards of sometimes people are compensated too much, sometimes they're not compensated enough. But as a PR move, it looks really bad to be complaining about making millions when a lot of people are still out of work.
That's no PR move. That's a money grab. Clint, what do you say?
I'm just astonished. You know, there's no way that you could pay me $7.7 million to put my reputation on the line to go run that broken company. So I think he's right. You got to pay more like $40 million.
Oh, come on, really?
Well, no, my point is that no, I'm kidding around, but there's no way you would get me to run a General Motor or a government motors company like that. It's so broken already.
Yeah, well, it is broken. Okay, let's talk about something else that's broken. Miami-Dade officials down in the south under fire for forgetting a fleet of 293 brand new Toyota hybrids for 6 years. While recently putting some of them to use, the remaining 100 are sitting in a parking garage with a value of $4 million. Elisabeth, how does this happen?
I know, this $4 million. I mean, I could have gone to an Obama-George Clooney fundraiser 100 times for that.
Nice.
Not that that wouldn't have been a waste of money, too. But I think, you know, Americans pull fiscally conservative, and this is exhibit A of the kind of government waste that makes them so frustrated with the political climate right now.
Scott.
This is a weird one, Jerry. I mean, number one, how do you just forget these cars for 6 years? Like, nobody went into that garage and, like, saw them. Number two, because they were sitting and not being driven, like you have to exercise the gaskets. That's a Seinfeld reference. They're actually ruined. The cars, you can't use them because they've been sitting in hot and humid conditions for years.
Exactly. And what happens to the battery? I mean, you know, we're talking about electric cars, right? Clint, what do you say?
Yeah, it's a joke. I mean, it's not like there's any salty air hanging out in Miami, right? These cars are corroding as we got. They have 0 miles on them already. It's just, it's exactly what's wrong with government.
Well, they have a big budget shortfall. No surprise there. Okay, compelling new evidence against wind farms. Wind farms showing these sources of green renewable energy are actually causing temperatures to rise. According to the experts who've been tracking wind farms in Texas for 8 years, warming will level off when you stop adding more turbines. Clint?
The jokes just write themselves. I'm trying to figure out what Al Gore is going to say now. I'm sure it's somehow the fault of the carbon companies and the oil companies that the wind farms are generating too much heat. It goes to show you that people generate heat, but it's not what's causing global warming or climate change, whatever the current term is.
Scott?
Listen, I feel bad for all the worms and ants out there, but Jerry, look, other than being an eyesore, these things are not cost effective. I mean, unfortunately, they don't produce enough power for people to need to build them anyway. So, I mean, look, the warming thing is just icing on the cake.
Elisabeth, do you like this? I mean,
for the comedy of it, I love it. But I think also it kind of puts the Obama administration in a really awkward position because they've been sitting here talking about, you know, greenhouse gases and climate change and touting wind energy as an alternative to that. And meanwhile, it might be part of the problem too. So don't buy into the scare tactics, I guess. And heaven help Al Gore.
I guess now we'll actually move on to algae. It's got to be the next step.
Right.
Okay, Australian billionaire Clive Palmer announcing plans to build a high-tech, full-scale replica of the Titanic. Titanic 2 will hold more than 1,600 passengers. Palmer says it will have, quote, the latest navigation and safety systems and is scheduled to make its maiden voyage from England to New York in 2016. Are you getting a ride, Clint?
No. I hated the movie. I have no interest in it. And I'm really not going to travel on a boat that's got such a wonderful reputation, no matter how new it is.
Scott, will you take a little tour on the USS, you know, Titanic?
The USST, yeah. I may, Jerry, and I know how we can get Clint to do it. I got an idea. We'll do a buy one, get 2 free trips promotion. We'll take the Titanic over to New York, fly the Concorde back to Germany, and jump on the Hindenburg.
Sounds like a plan. Sounds like a plan. Elizabeth?
I hope I'm not being superstitious about this, but I would think twice before I bought a ticket. Obviously, there's a huge market for it. I know the re-release of the movie and 3D grossed over $200 million worldwide, but I don't think I'd buy a ticket still.
No way. Okay, One World Trade Center, the massive tower being built to replace the Twin Towers, becoming New York City's tallest skyscraper today. Still under construction more than a decade after 9/11, the building surpassed the Empire State Building's 1,250-foot observation deck today. Officials say it will eventually measure 1,776 feet tall. Scott.
Jerry, it's great to have the WTC back. Whether it's the highest building in New York or not really is probably immaterial because I think people are going to go there just for the actual experience. When I'm in New York next time, I'm stopping by.
All right. Elizabeth, what do you say?
I love it, and I love the statement this makes to terrorists, too. It says, you know, we are not cowed. You knock us down, we're going to come back, and we're going to build bigger, and we're going to build stronger. So I think it's great.
Clint.
I think it makes 5,000 people who lost their lives several years ago feel a hell of a lot better right now. I'm really happy we're doing this, and I think it shows American spirit.
American spirit, I love that. Okay, guys, great job. Thanks so much for coming on tonight. Great answers, and a lot of comedy, too. I love that. Clint, Scott, and Elizabeth, thank you.